Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to season 2 of the Toss Up. Thank you so much for all the support for season 1. We loved it, so we decided to move it to a brand new channel. Do forget to subscribe.
Hey, not without me, man. Come on.
Okay, we are not sponsored by Tiger. I just want to let you know. Tiger, if you want to sponsor us, you can sponsor us. But however, the can that you're saying is because these guys are drunk for us. So, we had to give them some alcohol.
Bastard, not even cheers.
Mine is just...
I was waiting for it.
Cheers. There you go, cheers.
I just want to say mine is just water inside a tin.
Liar. Liar.
Okay, just want to say once again, welcome back to the new episode and season of the Toss Up. As usual, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also Google Podcasts. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. With that being said, my name is Jeevan, and on my right, we have Mr. Leonard.
Yes, what up everybody? I as you can tell, I took over Ian's spot here. You know why? Just like our government, we are moving all other races to the sides.
What race are you?
Line.
You also line, right?
Yeah, probably.
On my left, we have the average looking Chris.
After
insecurity, they all.
After that long break, we would like to know, Krish, everyone has been asking,
What?
have you grown any hair?
Everywhere except my head.
you know what's the worst part, not?
What?
Even after doing close to 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing the second season.
Yeah.
Fella doesn't still know to face the mic and talk. He's still looking at the camera and talk. We're shooting a podcast,
I'm an actor. What can I do?
You're not an actor, And last but not least, on my far right, we have Mr. Ian Stephen Ong. I'm a narrator of the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to season 2.
Oh yeah, welcome to season 2, man. All right, so Ian, what's something interesting?
Let me guess. It's amazing content.
Amazing story, right?
Another amazing story.
Definitely. It is always an amazing one.
All right, so before we go into it, roll the card.
All right, guys. Today's topic is about the abduction of Pastor Raymond Koh. 5 years ago, on February 13th, local pastor of the Evangelical Free Church, Raymond Koh, was driving from his house to buy food. He was driving past a highway in Kelana Jaya when suddenly his car was surrounded by 3 large black SUVs. Once the victim was surrounded, several men came out of the SUVs and attempted to abduct the pastor. One of the men was even recording the whole operation. After a bit of a struggle, he was taken and all the cars, including the victims, were driven off. The entire thing lasted for only 40 seconds, which tells us it was clearly not carried out by amateurs.
40-second an abduction, right? Is considered quite fast.
It is.
Quite fast those days. These days, it's quite slow. When TikTok videos last for 30 seconds.
It was only like 5 years ago, eh?
Yeah, it's only 5 years ago, bro.
Fella could have made a TikTok, Like the abduction is like, put a nice title card, abduction today, then like, is the video online?
You know what's scary or not?
What?
This happened in Kelana Jaya.
Which is somewhere near our office. Which is somewhere
I
near
just realized.
Yeah.
It's like, is this straight up like an action movie, right? Like a black SUV came in.
It's very similar to those, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think Malaysian movies.
Every story we come up with is a movie lah for us.
When authorities investigated the crime scene, the only thing left behind was some broken glass from the victim's car and his number plate.
That's the only thing left there.
Yeah.
You go buy Toto now, the number.
I didn't buy Toto lah, but I picked up the number plate.
You picked up the number plate.
What number was it?
Number, yeah. Tell us the number.
Something 4144 like that.
Yeah, it doesn't
All
seem
die.
For definition, just tell us actually what does the pastor do? What does the pastor role actually do? You actually don't know, right?
Casting out demons.
You actually don't know.
And you go to church.
I think the pastor and the priest are almost similar, but the priest has like a higher distinct authority and the pastor is like more to chapel instead of church.
Because none of y'all know who's the pastor is. I decided.
I know. I gave y'all. I said what the pastor.
I decided
is,
to ask the actual person. Okay, Shine, please tell us.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can hear me, but a pastor is like the Protestant version of a priest. So they preach in church and they tell you how to live life and stuff like that.
That's what I said just now.
Thank you, Shine. You may get up.
That's what I said. That's what I said also.
All right, so we kind of know. So it's like a priest, but for Protestants they called it pastor. For Catholic they call it priest.
And also, priest is not allowed to get married, but pastor is allowed. Yeah.
Wait,
okay,
I
okay.
get confused.
That's why I said
Then
he's
who's
allowed
the
to touch.
exorcist?
He's allowed to touch women.
Who's the exorcist?
They call them exorcists.
Right after the entire incident, 2 white sedans and 2 motorbikes, who were also part of the operation, drove on the road to act as traffic diversion and make everything look less suspicious. But even they faced some trouble. As they were executing the plan, a random civilian driving a hatchback unintentionally drove onto the scene. They don't know how much he saw, and he could have been a potential eyewitness. Instead of playing it cool and letting the driver pass through, the 2 white sedans stopped. They made the hatchback stop and began threatening him until he turned around and left the road. One of the motorbikes even followed him until he was completely gone. All this can be seen on a video that was released which showed CCTV footage of the whole abduction.
So this entire thing is in a video format, is it?
Yeah, it's a security camera format. Yes.
Oh, so it's actually a live video of the entire incident. And is it on YouTube? Okay, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, the link down for the video is down below. If you're watching this Spotify, I'm sorry, just imagine it.
Yeah. Immediately, people started playing the blame game. Who was responsible for this? Before it was just an abduction case, but people later classified it as enforced disappearance case. They sound similar, right? Abduction is self-explanatory when someone is forcefully taken away against their will. However, enforced disappearance are when the abduction is carried out by state officials.
Najib, ah.
Wait. Enforced disappearance is?
It's when the government gets involved, it's called enforced disappearance. We're learning so much today, between words, priest, pastor, abduction, enforced disappearance.
I hope
So-
that doesn't happen to all of us here.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think the Catholics is behind this lah. Because the Catholic we tak ngam. We tak ngam. So that's
guys,
who I think
he can
is
say it
behind
because he's Christian. I'm not going to say anything. So is it legal to do the enforced disappearance?
I don't know. These days, right, anything is possible. This happened 5 years ago, so maybe back then you can just pay anyone.
So you cannot ask any question after they being disappeared.
They can just transfer you to a different country or something. Yeah, change your identity, give you a new birth cert. Yeah. But why would the state officials want anything to do with Pastor Raymond Koh, you ask? This was a man who was known to do a lot for his community by helping out with HIV and AIDS patients, single mothers and children, and recovering addicts through the Hope community, which he helped set it up.
Wait. Hope community, is it?
Yeah, Hope community.
That Hope community area, right, is beside my gym, you know.
Really, yeah.
You go to gym,
Yeah.
That's what you asked, right? Really? Really? You go to gym.
Nobody asked that, okay? Nobody asked that, okay? But either way, because, I remember this because on Sunday I went to the gym. This gym is called Savage. Y'all can go there. So I went to the gym and I was seeing there was no car park around. And it's pretty.
okay.
Then I realized that the Hope,
Community, yeah.
You found
community-
hope lah.
I did not. But there were a lot of pretty girls walking in. So that's why I like.
So that's the hope lah there.
Okay, let's be honest. We all are guys, When there's a girl walking past you, right, and a few girls keep walking to the same place, you'll be like, what is this place? Is this yoga studio?
No.
Okay, you never go to church.
I never do that.
The fact everyone on this table laughed, right? You should know. Okay? But either way, when I saw, I was like, oh, but I didn't know that maybe that was the path. And he's in Kelana Jaya also.
Oh, yeah.
Should be pastor from there. Maybe I should go ask
That's
them.
his church lah. That means.
Maybe I should go and ask
No,
them.
that's not the church.
that's
That's
not
the
a church,
community.
Community center. It's not like
I
a
see.
church.
Okay,
It's like
okay,
a
okay.
community
Different.
center.
Community center and church different.
Yeah.
I see.
You don't know the difference.
I don't know.
He's not
You
Christian.
should go. You are going to church, what? I'm not.
Let's move on. Let's not talk about it.
That's not to say he hasn't had a run-in with threats in the past. In 2011, both him and his wife, Susanna Liu, also an active member of the community, received death threats. This came after a fundraiser that they organized, which was raided by Jais. Jabatan Agama Islamic Selangor. They believe that the pastor and his wife had set up the event to convert Muslims to Christianity. And this wasn't an isolated incident. The couple have been suspected for doing this for a while by the authorities.
Wait, so they think people who is Islam are converted to Christian in a country where you cannot convert out of Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These Jais people quite smart, huh?
They damn smart.
They damn smart way.
Jazz people damn smart.
Bagus.
Yeah.
Bagus.
I
Bodoh bagus.
What is that?
Fucker, they're damn stupid, right? Don't you think it's the stupidest thing? Like to think like somebody is helping the community with HIV patients and all this, would think to convert people to go to another religion. Where that people itself, that is the last thing they will think about. If you have HIV, right, you won't be thinking about, oh, I need Allah or Jesus or, those kind of things. You'll be thinking like, can I get cured or not?
Yeah, you just need help.
What are you doing?
Maybe one of the
I'm
person.
putting subtitles here because Jais won't understand.
No, the thing is, you should have used sign language.
So you need to have the subtitles
Okay,
there.
lah. I know the next people going to disappear too.
Enforced disappearance.
Enforced disappearance.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think so. Personally, as a non-Muslim, I feel like what Jais does is an obstruction of freedom of speech, because you yourself as a person who's practicing the religion is forced to behave in a certain way because there's government official that is telling you how to live your life, and you have to live it in a certain way. And I feel like that is a impeachment of the freedom of speech.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Sometimes like if I were to go with Malay girls and all to the hotel, no, all cannot. Fucking shit.
What?
Why? No, you know what?
Yeah.
That's your freedom. The thing is,
No.
it was consensual. The
Yeah.
girl came within consensual. Did she?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't seem very convincing about it. Either way, I just feel like you as a, if as a person, the relationship with God is such a personal thing.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be a government authority telling you how to construct your relationship with God
Yeah.
and tell you how to behave around it. And I think the whole Jais concept is a bit too much, because they come to a point where they even like, if you're puasing, they come to restaurants and say like, oh, you cannot eat, you cannot do this.
Yeah,
you cannot
wait,
do-"
damn bad.
which is
And I sometimes kena that because they say I look like Malay.
I also kena that before. I would sit in the mama and I just want to order the food, and the mama fella doesn't want to serve me the food because he thinks I'm Malay, and I'm like, I'm not. I have to show my IC, and I have to show like this is. He'll think my IC is not fake.
Yeah.
So I'll say this actually is me, and then he says like I actually asked him, why do you do all this? It came to a point where like if a Jais officer passes by, not only I get fined, they also get fined, and they have the potential to shut down the entire operation.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like, okay, that is taking things a bit too far.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, we as human beings have every right to have a personal relationship with God, and no outside person should interfere with that relationship. I hope you all know that, Jais.
But the
But the
Muslim
thing is,
law,
no matter how many times you tell them, you cannot change that. That's how it is.
So because the Muslim law is very enforced here
Yes.
in our country.
Because they don't want any Muslim to go to church. Sometimes there are some Muslims they go to church
Yeah.
for sake of friends or something. So the moment they found out, they will thinking as that you are converting them.
Yeah.
They don't think that, these people just go there to... They're strong Muslim. Even you ask them, do you want to convert? They say they don't want. They're just here for the friends.
And I think that's because they have a good faith in their religion.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good.
It's
It's
good,
good.
yeah.
But why you not letting them to go to anywhere temple or nowadays?
They allow,
because
Tem-
now
temples
they
they
are.
allow,
I mean,
yeah.
they allow.
They allow them to go to clubs lah.
Like,
Zug, now no more already. Right? That one also.
Play club.
They are allowed to go to clubs, right?
I remember like the word Jesus, right, is even been asked to be censored in radio. You can't even say the word. So I feel like, people, like, I don't think the religion is scary, but I think people who are enforcing or handling these religion conflicts are making it very scary for people to learn about the religion.
Yeah, it is.
Because honestly, man, I don't want to just like...
Yeah.
This is from an outside perspective. So if you are a Muslim and if you disagree with us, just let us know in the comment below or just text us, man.
So, the pastor was sent 2 bullets and a note in Malay written in blood that threatened his life. His wife received a mysterious package of white powder. She only found out later that it was anthrax. Until today, no one knows who sent the items and there is no hard evidence to prove that it is connected to the abduction.
So they send the ransom note to a Chinese in Malay. I don't want to be mean lah, okay? But what Janet said might be true. They might not understand this podcast.
Why did they even send bullet? Like for what?
That's for her lah. They bought it for her.
I don't know why.
You know what's the stupidest thing or not? They send letter, 2 bullets and anthrax.
Yeah.
They
What
tell
is
it,
anthrax?
anthrax is like a poison.
Yeah, it's a type of drug.
I remember in US, people were getting anthrax from in meals. So when you open it, you inhale it, you immediately get poison with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
it's poison.
It's poisonous.
That's strong.
That's wrong.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like cyanide in some way.
yeah. So it is very, very illegal in a lot of countries, even in Malaysia.
Okay.
So the fact that they send a letter, bullet and anthrax, which is damn confusing. If she opened the anthrax, she wouldn't read the letter, the bullet. If she saw the bullet, she wouldn't be reading the letter and the anthrax.
Basically, they want to ask her which way you want to die. But if she would have smelled that thing, she would not.
It's like there's an easy, normal and hard mode.
Yeah, which one you want to die?
One thing's for sure, the higher-ups were not comfortable with the way he was operating his church. Right when the disappearance happened, it caused a big uproar among the public. The investigation itself was headed by the Inspector General of Police at that time, Tan Sri Khalid Abu Bakar. Famously, 1 month after the case began, he told the media to stop reporting about Raymond's disappearance as it was stopping the police from doing their actual job. His actual words were, "Shut up and let us do our work."
But did they do the work?
Sounds like a song title. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
If you all don't know, that's Simple Plan.
Yeah,
Generation.
there's a generation gap.
That's generation gap. But I just want to say actually, I did hear about these things that when the media reports too much, the police have a very hard time collecting evidence because there's too many people that get
Theories and all that.
involved investigating it. So it impends the sort of the investigation.
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
know which is the true.
That is the part where everyone needs to know that it's the police job to keep it a secret and not let the media know. So when they start letting the media know, it's their fault also at the start. And also, they don't work. So in other words, they just want their job to be easy. So yeah, they want to stop the media from doing their stuff lah.
So fun fact, Malaysian Crime Branch is one of the top 3 in the world, you know.
Yeah, it
Wow.
is. I
Really?
read that before.
Yeah.
Why
so
they haven't found out the Altantia case?
They did.
They did.
What I know is they already found everything, but there's a lot of political cloud on it.
Yeah.
The correct term, a political cloud on it. I sound so smart. eh?
Yeah.
Political cloud on it. But yeah, that is the idea of it. But how I know this is because I have a friend whose brother is working for the crime branch. And when they were doing it, he was studying in New York or somewhere.
Yeah.
And in New York, they say Malaysia actually helps America and UK, MI6 and CIA to help solve their crimes. Because
Yeah,
Malaysia is
yeah.
one of the best ones.
It is.
At first, I would think like, you bullshitting, but you know, it's an actual lecturers in New York and everything. They talk about Malaysian crime.
What makes us better than them?
Because we have too many crimes. That's why it's solved too many times.
They got used to it lah.
Yeah,
Take a lot of
we
credit.
just put ourselves there, you know.
And
Easy
you know,
lah, this one.
we don't really listen to a lot of the crimes that happen in Malaysia because they
Yeah.
go unreported or the public doesn't know about it that well.
Yeah.
But one time, this Grab driver, when he was taking me, he told me that he was an ex police officer, and he told me that back then there were a lot of Bangla workers and everything.
Yeah.
Do you know they kidnap people?
yeah.
People kidnap them and ask ransom from their own country.
Yes,
Malaysians actually kidnap them and ask ransom. Okay, I just want to say Malaysians, sometimes y'all can be assholes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So not just assholes, a bit stupid. Why you all kidnap Bangladesh all? How
No,
much
because-
money you all can get from that?
No, apparently a lot because the people who work here, right, the
Yeah.
foreigners who work here, they look poor here because they send all their money to overseas, to
Yes,
their
yes.
families back then. And they earn like in a day, they earn so much because they are working hard to make sure their family living. These fellas might have BM or Mercedes out there, man.
Yeah.
How
You
much?
would
How
never
much
know.
roughly they earn in a day? you think?
I was not told that. But I think about, on average, if he's very, very hardworking, he's working about 2-3 jobs. Average one job pays him about 2-3K.
Yeah.
So 3 jobs might pay him close to 10K.
Yeah, close to 10. We just lost one person.
Well, why he came back, lah?
He changed his mind because he cannot get any other job.
He changed his mind because he's not a foreigner.
Oh my god.
Either way, I would think that's the reason. And he told us like how they solved the case. And it was such an interesting grab, right?
Yeah.
They gave him 5-star and a tipper.
He also tried to settle the rumors. People were spreading that the crime was so well executed, it was carried out by the government. He said that even gangs have executed hit jobs and abductions that were very well organized and carried out.
I think you all have too much faith in our government. They cannot execute something this well.
Their crime scene is very good, but abduction?
Let's be honest. Once the one MDB case came out, it was we just genuinely the question we all asked ourselves: they cannot be that stupid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you all really think the government had anything to do with this? I don't think so.
What?
Like because people think right, the government did this because it was so well executed. You think you think our
No,
government
definitely
can?
not, lah, definitely not. For sure not.
The thing is, they don't like to sweat.
We don't think that far. We don't think that far.
Don't think that far. Our government is not that capable.
People on Twitter is a lot more smarter than the ones running the country.
Whoa, okay.
Wokeness. You know, it's a good thing our podcast don't come out on Twitter. We would have been cancelled a long time ago.
No.
Really?
Now that Elon Musk is owning it, so
free speech,
Yeah.
Maybe Elon Musk should run our country, lah.
They ended up arresting a man who they believe helped extort Koh's family, but they still couldn't find the whereabouts of the pastor. More months passed with more dead ends. The family and the Christian community were becoming more restless. They believed that the police force wasn't making the case as serious as they would have if it was a leader from a different community. But these are all personal opinions. Despite the fact that they set up a special task force to investigate further, until today, 5 years later, no report has been released about their findings. The Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, Suhakam, held an investigation and concluded that Raymond being an enforced disappearance victim was most likely true, and his abduction was supposedly carried out by the Royal Malaysian Police Special Branch operatives, a statement that they have denied.
What happened to the best?
Yeah, the best one. That's why they executed it very cleanly. I think that's why he said stop spreading. Yeah. Macha, how you kidnap and then you... Okay, here's the thing. So they still haven't found the pastor, is it?
Yo,
Yeah.
after 5 years later.
After 5 years, they still... Oh my God. Can you imagine what the family is going through?
True. He could have
I think
passed
they-
away. Get it?
That's a bit sensitive.
Sensitive. Sorry.
What would y'all do if your father, mother was kidnapped like this?
I would spend my whole life just trying to find the truth. That's what I would do.
Yeah, actually me as well. I think that's what anyone would do, right? Like
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you for a while you will do that. After that, you started to move on with your life. But you once in a while you keep thinking about it.
I
That's
don't
how
think I'll move on. I'll be like, KGF, the guy, the reporter, who was like the whole room.
The fact the Chinese guy brought up KGF, right? Not the Indian fella, right? And the fella who looks like KGF. So
you need to go training on how to this thing to be a hitman and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
that's how you find your father. I think.
the story ended already, right?
No.
No, not yet.
Oh wait, the story haven't ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some build up.
In the larger scheme of things, the case came at the time when several abductions happened in just a couple of months. First, there was a pastor, Joshua Hilmi, and his wife, Ruth, who were abducted in a similar fashion in November 2016. Then there was a social activist, Amri Mat, who was a supporter of the Shia Islamic teachings. He was also abducted in the same month, the same way.
Now we get equal. What do we make it equal? Because one is pastor, now is Islam priest,
okay,
right?
okay,
so we
okay,
get equal
okay,
balance.
okay.
So you cannot blame that always Islam people is the one abducting the Christian. So now
now the only one that's not involved is the Chinese. We should start looking
and
at
the
them.
Indian priest also.
No, they forgot about Indians as usual. He just forgot about Indians.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Indians. So.
Yeah, like we don't have priests like that.
We forgot. Ding, 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 money adikran.
And soon after, the government had created a special task force to investigate the issue, but his family members have been kept in the dark until today. Well, sound familiar? All these cases? Do you think it's a coincidence that all these people were prominent speakers about their religion in their own communities and they were all abducted in the span of less than 5 months?
What would you kidnap the Ustad?
Maybe he's helping them out.
Probably. Okay, here's the thing. Another fun fact. When I did a few years ago, we did this engagement with Google.
Yeah.
And we had to work with the NGO. So the NGO that I worked with talked about Rohingya kids and everything, like how these kids are being trafficked and all these things. And we talked about stereotypes. Whereas Vika worked with the anti-terrorism organization. And they told us, because they all briefed us together, right? So they told us that in Malaysia, there were some professors in UM and like all these prominent colleges that were pro-ISIS. And they were recruiting kids, like students, to join ISIS. So like this is not like a fictional thing, by the way. This is actually a factual thing, because they actually showed us like these people who were captured but they actually captured them, and these professors were influencing the students to join ISIS. And they were executing robberies, kidnapping, all on behalf of ISIS. And they are not like very stupid people, by the way. They are very, very intellectual. They're the people that, the stupid people are not like the people that are running this thing. These are very, very smart people with doctorate, masters, all in their name.
Yeah.
And they were lecturing students, and they will see the students like, so one of their pattern was when they see the students sort of like,
Potential.
not potential, like very strong, right? They pursue them to join the religion. And it's not
in Malaysia, this is all happening.
in Malaysia. It's not that this person is pursuing something like, oh, I want to be a religious person. No. It's this person is being very like, I don't like how injustice works. Simple as that. I don't like how injustice works. And I don't like how people are being not treated right. And then they will brainwash them. Like, do you know how you can get back to the government and those kind of things? And that's what they do.
But
like,
this also reminds me of like 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, like a group of people, they self-claimed they're ISIS, but they have nothing to deal with ISIS. They just got inspired by ISIS, and then they started to put like several places like bombs.
Pretenders.
Like one of the places was Movida. Yes.
Do you know when it bombed?
Yeah.
I was around that area.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Do
like,
you know when that thing happened, the school that I used to teach and where Chris used to learn was just upstairs?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember like, because I remember clearly because I heard a loud bang.
Oh.
And I was like I thought accident kind of bang, you know. Then we like saw like, because it was like,
So you're telling me that you were in the area and Ian and Krish was like
No, we are not
upstairs.
on that area at the time.
We weren't in the area, but
I think
because
We
you knew the bomb was going to happen, right?
No, I came after that bomb happened. What are you talking about? Where you trying to link the story?
நம்மள கோத்து விடுறதுலே பிளான் இருக்கா? Wait.
why you laugh?
கோச தண்ணிய வச்சுக்கிட்டு இவன் பண்ற பாடு
It also doesn't help that the government's innocent when such statements are made like this one. Awaluddin Jahid, a retired special branch police officer, said during a speech at a home ministry that Christian people who convert others into Christianity and people that follow the Shia teachings are the real enemies. These statements were made in public forum about 2 weeks before the string of abductions began. Still, the police force has given out 3 official theories. The first is that Raymond was kidnapped for ransom. The second is that someone had a personal vendetta against the pastor. And the final theory is that he was involved in extremist activities. What do you think happened?
I don't think the first theory makes any sense at all. Because if
Why?
it was ransom, people would have asked for something. Nobody asked for anything.
People wouldn't send
So
bullets.
let's
Yeah.
throw the first theory out of the window
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
So what I think I solved the case by itself.
You solved it.
I
Oh, you
think
solved
so.
it.
All right.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, we want to hear your
so
theory.
here's my
Let's
theory.
hear
This is my theory.
Detective Ian.
Okay, here's my theory. Back in the this was more than 5 years ago. Back in my hometown, me and my friends we knew that there was things going on because there's so many people that travel into smaller states in Malaysia to actually from boats and everywhere they come here as a like either refugees or just people without official papers to stay in Malaysia. So they go through all these religious places of community to actually get themselves registered for it. So they help them out to get their papers done unofficially through them to make them like, oh, you're a citizen here. Yeah.
So these religious people help them to get citizenship.
So maybe these people were helping people like these people who come here by boat and all that illegally, okay? Those immigrants. Probably the Hope community was doing that behind the scenes when they say they're helping them, and then the government didn't like it. Yeah.
But I think you know who's involved? I think Jais did it. Because here's the most important thing you all need to know.
Why?
The ransom letter was in Malay.
That is true. That is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because if it was a police officer, right?
Yeah.
He would have wrote it in English.
Yeah, they're not that smart, huh? That smart.
And they gave 2 bullets.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Maybe Jais and the police fellas were
Yeah.
together. So the only assignment was the police could have access for anthrax because it's illegal substance.
Yeah.
And bullets.
It's the one they rampas every time.
Yeah,
and they
the bullets they
give
could
it.
have access to. And maybe the letter was written by an intern who didn't understand English.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, probably lah. Okay, saya mau itu lu letak je lah apa-apa. So I think it's Jais. But let's throw it back to the audience, man. I think we have enough theories about what actually happened because
Yeah.
I believe it's Jais. You?
I believe it's the other religions, other than the Christian.
now after all this thing, now you try to be safe, lah. After all this thing, you said about Jais and the subtitle, all this shit, and then now you want to be safe. No, I want
other
to be,
religions.
other religions.
What about you, Chris?
I think I go with that theory, Jais.
Jais.
Yeah. Because after the story, it makes sense. So maybe they're not converting the Malays, or they're converting that
Their citizenship.
Rohingyas, or they are still Muslims, what?
Yeah.
So for them, you are not giving them any what they call like places for them to here to recognize citizenship or whatever rights. So they
Yes.
tried to give them rights by giving them a citizenship
Yeah.
or whatever. So this could have triggered them.
That triggered them and then made them tell them to stop the whole operation.
Yeah. But then maybe they didn't listen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
it could be that. But
be.
I want to ask you guys that are listening to this or watching this, who do you think did it? Okay, let us know in the comment down below. And if you are someone who knew the pastor personally or was part of this community, please reach out to us because we want to hear like how it happened and how did that community went through during that time. We love reading about it.
Yeah.
And you could also tell us if there's still hope in the community.
Why would you?
Okay, that's it from us, guys. Bye. I'm Bennett.
My name is Jeevan
I'm Chris.
Ian.
and this is the Toss Up. We'll see you again.
Ciao.
Bye.